Let me just sit here for a minute. So I get home from work because I do have a day job, and DJing and YouTubing is just, something I'm doing for fun, just a little part-time thing for me. But I get home from work, man, and I check to see what's been going on out there, see if I missed anything, and I'm not sure how official this is because this could be a spoof track, but I don't think it is. Meek Mill finally fired back at Drake with a track called "Wanna Know," and I wish I could explain how disappointed I am right now because, like I said the first time on the first video, because this is actually the third video, Charged Up wasn't all that great, but Back to Back was just fire. Like he brought it. I thought the delivery was great. I thought the execution was great. I thought the whole project as a whole was great. Wasn't too much of nothing I would really change about it. So, we've been eager for Meek Mill's response. And like I said, I don't know if this is the official track. I just got this like less than an hour ago. I went online and stuff and I found it, but I'm very disappointed in Meek right now because when you get bodied by a singing nigga who's never really, other than the two times on Stay Scheming and Headlines, really try to portray like he was street, and you got bodied by this dude, you gotta come with some ether shit. And Meek Mill's Wanna Know respond to Drake's Back to Back diss, it was not up to par by any means. I mean, yeah, he had a couple punchlines, but I told y'all previously in the second video, for those of y'all who haven't seen the second video, it's on my channel, just go back to the second video. I told y'all already, if he really wanted to take down Drake, coming at him with street shit might get you a few points, but if you want to body Drake, you gotta, see, Drake's not a street rapper. So he's not really rapping about street shit. So his vocabulary and the way he puts his metaphors together and the way he puts his punchlines together really sets the bar up there kind of high because he's not talking about street shit. Because in my personal opinion, almost anybody could talk about street shit. So it definitely makes you think outside the box. Like, you know what? I ain't gonna even come at this nigga on some street shit. I'm just gonna come at him on some you shit. And, it definitely makes you think outside the box as far as, writing a diss record. And I listened to it. I listened to it twice, actually. Because like I said, I just got this an hour ago. I was eager to get back to the people who liked all the first video. Shout out to the people who gave me 215 views. I love y'all, man. I wasn't really expecting 215 views. I was expecting maybe a few views, but to see it jumped up to 215, shouts and love, appreciate that. I didn't see anything negative in the comments, so much love and appreciate that. But back to the topic, man. Okay, first of all, Drake's shit sounded so professional. Back to Back sounded so professional. Meek's Mill diss track, that shit sounded like it was recorded in a closet with egg cartons and shit. Like, it was very, very poorly executed. If you haven't heard it yet, go hear it. And don't get me wrong, Meek Mill dropped a couple bars, but he didn't make me go, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I heard Back to Back for the first time, I jumped online and everybody was talking about it. So, boom, I go in and listen to it. I listened to it and I'm like, whew, man. But when I listen to Meek Mill's diss track, and I have Meek's album, I don't want nobody saying, oh, well, he's just signed with Drake. No, I have both these guys' album. I have Meek Mill's latest album, and I still have Drake's mixtape. So I have both of these artists' music, and I know what they're capable of. And Drake did what I know he's capable of. He can really come at you with these metaphors and these slick talk and these punchlines, and he can really do it in such a way to where, even if you don't like the nigga, you'll like some of them punchlines because, now everybody's online talking about trigger fingers turning into Twitter fingers, and now everybody's online doing what's the other one? He just got bodied by a singing nigga. I've been seeing a lot of memes with the the prenup punchline, and then of course, oh, how could I forget? I've been seeing a bunch of memes about the is that your world tour or your girls tour? I mean, like, he's just so good with these punchlines. They stick in your head. They fun, and a lot of people just run with it. I didn't feel none of that shit on Meek Mill's diss record. Like I said, I have Meek Mill's album, and the album is a banger. Lord Knows is like one of my favorite songs right now. And irony in this, I think my second favorite song is Rico, which is him and Drake. But I was just very disappointed. Like, it was very poorly executed. Like, for those of y'all who haven't heard it, it sounds horrible. Like, you can barely make out what he's saying. When you do, it's very predictable. Like, he didn't take my breath away. He didn't just make me stop back and go like, ooh, he got him. Because, when you listen to a good diss record, whether it was Pac's Hit 'Em Up, Nas's Ether, Jay-Z's Takeover, you had the moments where you were just like, ooh, man, like, man, he really got at that nigga. And then, it's the same thing. Not really putting Drake in that category with them, because I'm not doing that. I'm not putting him in the category with them. But as far as the category of diss records, I am. When I heard Drake's diss record, he had the line, the prenup line, and he making fun of him about being on tour with his girl, then the trigger fingers with the Twitter fingers, then got bodied by a singing nigga. I'm sitting there like, ooh, fuck, Drake getting on this nigga. Man, I just wasn't feeling that with the Meek Mill diss track. Like I said, I don't know if this is the official track, but I pray to God that it's not the official track. I hope it's just like a spoof, something, and the real one will come out tomorrow. But I'm kind of thinking this is the real one. It was just horrible. It sounded like, for those of y'all who haven't heard it and you might not be able to find it, because I actually had a little trouble finding it. Like, it took me a hot second to find it, because a bunch of fake tracks popped up that weren't him, and they were just freestyles of him doing an energy beat. And let me touch base on that. For those of y'all who might not know this, I think most of y'all should. But for those of y'all who might not know this, if you go look up on YouTube or online Meek Mill diss track, it's not going to pull up Wanna Know. Not just yet. It didn't do it with me. Maybe by tomorrow, because I'm shooting this video kind of late. It probably will. But it kept pulling up Meek Mill Drake diss. But it really wasn't a Drake diss. What it is a freestyle that he did a while ago, before this was even thought of, over Drake's Energy track. And he did all right on it. I don't think he did as good as Drake, but he did pretty good on that one. But it's not the official Drake diss. So for those of y'all who thought that was the Drake diss with Meek Mill freestyling over Energy, that record's been out for a while. Like, that's been in my phone, saved in my playlist for a while. So that's not the official Drake diss. But as far as I know, I'll let y'all know if it changes. The official Drake diss, the response to Back to Back, is a track called Meek Mill Wanna Know. To me, it was just horrible. And it pisses me off, because I was like, dude, your album was fucking fire. So how you have a fire album and a sorry ass diss track? I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it, because like, that diss track, it sounded very distorted. You couldn't hardly make. I tried listening to it through headphones to see if that was, because the first time I listened to the track, I listened to it without headphones, just through regular speakers or whatever. And I was like, well, maybe that got something to do with it. Let me listen to it again through headphones, and with the volume up, or set it just right, and see if that helped. That made it worse. I was like, oh my God, like, I think I'm really let down, because I was really expecting Meek to really come with some bars, man. I'm 27 years old, but I'm old school in my ways, and I like when artists come with bars, like Drake did on Back to Back. Like, he just hit you with bar after bar after bar. Memes start popping up everywhere because the bars is just too fire, whether you like the nigga or not. And it was very disappointing. Like I said, I don't know if that's the official track, but I'm thinking it is, because Because matter of fact, there is some things in the record that he said that I'm pretty sure it's the official track. There's some things I don't want to spoil it for you for those who haven't heard it yet. So I'm trying not to say too much. But the sound quality was very poor. At least the version that I heard. Y'all might be able to go out there and find something with some good HQ sound quality. I couldn't find it. If you could, shoot it to me. I'll listen to it again. I don't expect it to be that much better, but it was very poor sound quality. It sounded like, for those of y'all who might rap and do mixtapes, and you know, when you was a kid, you make a little one off a cassette tape. You know, you remember that? You take the boombox, put it next to, you know, an instrumental, and you record it, and it comes out all distorted and trashy. You can barely hear the voice. That's literally what it sounded like to me. To me, that's what it sounded like. So I was very disappointed in it, and I was disappointed in it because listening to Meek Mill's album, and I still had that out. I jammed the shit out of Meek Mill's album, and I jammed the shit out of Drake's album. I jammed the shit out of both of them. Drake did what he was capable of. Drake could actually go a little bit harder if he wanted to, but right now I think he's just having fun with it. And I know Meek can go hard. Meek can go hard in the paint. For those of y'all, you know, you don't have Meek Mill's album, go get Meek Mill's album or get online and get it. You know, nowadays it's so easy to get online and get it. And listen to like Lord Knows. Listen to the whole song. Don't just, you know, listen to a few seconds of it and cut it off. Listen to the whole song. Lord Knows by Meek. He had bars. Like, he ripped that track apart. So when I hear that, and then Meek Mill releases this trashy, very distorted, sorry ass, predictable punchlines, I was like very let down because I know what Meek Mill's capable of and he can do a lot better. So I was very disappointed in it, and y'all might not agree with it, but you know, I'm just stating my opinion. Like, after I heard it, I couldn't do nothing but just sit there and be like, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we waited, you know, over a week for. Poor sound quality, poor execution. The delivery to me was mediocre at best. Like, I was just very disappointed. I mean, like, and for those of y'all who haven't heard it yet, I'm letting you know now, it's nowhere near either level. It ain't even on back-to-back level. And shit, because the sound quality is so damn poor, and it sounds like gibberish. And it ain't because he's going fast, because like I said, you listen to Meek Mill's album, you listen to Lord Knows, he's going fast, but you can make out every word. Like, you don't miss a beat, like you make out every word. This is just, it sounded like gibberish. He like wasn't really pronunciating none of his words, and it was just sounding like gibberish. And then when you could make out something, it was like very, very extremely predictable punchlines. I think he made a reference to Diddy slapping Drake. I kind of seen that one coming. That wasn't like no ooh ah moment for me. I was like, I kind of seen that coming. Other than that, he really didn't have no good punchline. Like, that was probably his like best punchline, was Diddy slapping Drake. And it wasn't even a good punchline. It just kind of, he like referenced it. So it wasn't like a slick ass punchline. It was just like he referenced, you know, that situation. But I really expected a lot more from Meek, especially since I have Meek Mill's album and I have Drake's album, and I know, or Drake's mixtape. I'm sorry, it's not an album. I think it was classified as a mixtape. But anyhow, I know Meek Mill can do a million times better than what he did on that track. Like, to me, the track was damn near depressing, because I was like, Drake bodied you on back to back, and you know, he kind of jabbed at him when he did Charged Up, but then he come back and bodied you with back to back, and that's the best you can do. I felt very let down, because I was like, I can't believe I waited, you know, over a week for this response, and then I get this gibberish garbage, can't even hardly half make out what he's saying diss track, when Drake's shit sounded clean cut, beat nice, flow nice, execution nice, and then you come back with this gibberish trash, can't even half-ass make out what you're saying. Then the beat kept changing, and they were all, to me, none of them were just fire-ass beats that it kind of like changes a little bit. I'm not sure if I was tripping, but it seemed like it changed a little bit, like halfway through. I think at the end he told Diddy, not Diddy, I'm sorry, not Diddy, but I think at the end of the diss track, he said, because like I said, it sounded so gibberish to me. He oh, you know, threatened to fight Drake, yada yada yada. It was just, I expected a lot more. But for those of y'all who watched my first two videos, a lot of love and support goes out to y'all. I appreciate that love. This is the boy LavonThaOne AkA Dj Himalaya. You can get at me on Twitter if you want to just DM me. Get at me at LavonThaOne on Twitter, DJ Himalaya. If you still on the Facebook thing, you can get on my Facebook at just LavonThaOne. My Instagram is LavonThaOne if you want to check that out. And you can always subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you don't like it, thumbs down. If you do like it, thumbs up. Let me know your feedback. Let me know what you thought. Put something in the comments, man, and I'm out.